used as a teaching point, building point, and they're going to move on to the next one. They've got a New Jersey Devils team coming into town on Saturday that has probably defied a lot of expectations, and they are they're really cruising right now, and Flyers are going to have to try to slow them down. So it's not really going to get easier from here for quite a while, and it's again just a matter of trying to go out and execute the way this coaching staff wants them to.
I mean, can you believe the Devils are 19-4?
I cannot.
They've won 15 of the last 16 games.
I mean, I know that's a team that everybody looked at them over the last few years, and they were waiting for them to kind of start ramping up in an upward trajectory, and it wasn't happening. It was starting to be like, okay, not that they wish they'd picked Nolan Patrick, but the Nico Hischier thing wasn't looking all that great either. And they're adding these pieces in these other drafts where they got these top 3 picks. And, it's like, is this going to be like the Edmonton of the East? And it just seems like all of a sudden this year that it has caught fire. So I don't know exactly what the difference is between this team and the last year or two for the New Jersey Devils, but something obviously is clicking for this team, and they have all of a sudden kind of risen to where maybe people thought they were going to be, at this point, but just hadn't gotten. Didn't look like they were getting to that point.
Yeah, they had a maturation. That's the word of the postgame show, a maturation, because last year they finished the season with 6 straight losses and 2 points ahead of the Flyers in the standings. It's 63 points last year, 27, 46, and 9. And now this season, I mean, they're just, I mean, I don't know how sustainable. I mean, obviously, the record at this point, they're not going to lose just 16 games this year. They've been great in this first quarter of this season. Yeah. I mean, they're a plus 35 in goal differential.
Yep. And that may not be sustainable for them. I don't know. I don't know what their goaltending situation looks like.
10-1 on the road.
Yeah, I mean that is. I mean, the Flyers franchise record, I believe it still is for road wins in a season is 25. And this is December 1st, and they're already at 10.
10-0. Yeah.
I mean, my goodness, that is.
Well, think about this. They've played 24 games. Flyers now play 25. Wait, no, Flyers played 24, right? Tonight's the 24th?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Flyers have scored 57 goals. The Devils have scored 90 goals.
Yeah.
90. 33 goals more.
Yeah.
In 24 games.
It's like
it's a goal and a half more a game.
Like a switch flip somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Whether or
bananas,
not, whether or not it's, I know that not a lot of Cup winning teams peak in November. So they still have a long way to go. They still have a long way to figure things out. Even the ones that do peak in November, like you'll remember this Tampa team when they had 60 wins that one year.
Yeah, 128 points.
They got bopped on the nose by Columbus in Game 1 with Torts and Bradshaw behind the bench and never recovered.
They were up in the game 3-0, and then they came back and lost it in overtime 4-3.
Because that team hadn't faced a lick of adversity all year.
Yeah,
and they finally ran into some in that first round. They didn't really know how to handle it. Now, granted, they grew out of it and they won 2 Stanley Cups, so it's water under the bridge at some point. But this New Jersey team is at this point in the season is showing that they got to at least partially be for real, right? It's not like it was a flash in the pan. It's been a quarter of a season now. So
the funny thing is. Flyers opened the season against New Jersey and beat them 5-2.
They did, yeah.
that is crazy. They've lost 3 times since that time.
And as I recall, we're pretty much significantly outshot, were they not, in that game? I don't remember for sure. I don't have those numbers in front of me. But the grand scheme of things is that this
37-25 Jersey.
This Metro division is getting tougher and tougher by the year. It was already pretty tough. The Eastern Conference is hard to get out of, and so even if everything starts going right for the Flyers, they're going to have perpetually some stiff competition to go against. But we're again at a point now where John Tortorella went off on it today. just waxing philosophic on how this is going to be a building process. Didn't use that rebuild term, but he is building from the ground up. And this team doesn't need a scorched earth rebuild. It's got good pieces, but they are going to pretty much tear it down. Not by getting rid of everybody, but just tear down the execution and the way things are going for the folks that are here, and try to build it back up again.
No question. Let's take a time out here on the post-game show. Flyers fall against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Final score of 4-1. We're back after this. Brian Smith, Jason Martinez on the BetRivers.com Flyers Broadcast Network.
You're listening to the Flyers Show.
The last 2 or 3 games, I'll get from here is, you do that evaluation, you do a good bit of looking at yourself and looking in the mirror and figure out, who are we going to build this team around here over the next few years. And then the hope is that if you decide there's some veterans that are on their way out, or that you're just not going to try to make a part of it, that you get to the deadline, you find a team that's maybe top 3 in a conference, but they've got some injuries on defense, and you can flip a guy, and maybe even coax a first round pick in this 2023 draft out of somebody. So there is some a way up. There is light here, if I could use it that way.
Between like Tort said, though, there will be pain.
Yeah, there is. It's gonna be. It's just a fact of life, and it's unfortunate, but it is what it is right now. And this.
By the way, that's exactly what Mike Babcock said.
Yeah?
When he first took over Toronto, there will be pain.
Okay, that's good.
And then they ended up doing well and getting guys like Austin Matthews. They signed Tavares with Marner.
And even a team like that can't get over the ultimate hump, right?
Yeah. Haven't won a round of the playoffs and so forth.
And I have maintained in the past, and I still do maintain, that part of the reason that the Tampa Bay Lightning have gotten to 3 cups in a row is that the whole COVID situation pretty much stopped teams from markedly changing the roster. And since they were at the peak when it started, I feel they've benefited from being able to more or less maintain the status quo over the last few years, and a lot of other teams haven't been able to change a whole lot about their roster, with the exception of a couple of places like, even this is kind of before COVID, but like the New York Rangers. You get a lot of talk about how they flipped it. Well, they got a couple of top 3 picks plus a couple of guys that only wanted to play in New York City. So that's something the Flyers don't have the benefit of. So it's again unfortunate that they're in the situation, but they definitely are trying to program a way out of it.
No doubt about it. All right, let's wrap things up. Let's let the security personnel who's lined up at the door to get out of here. Get out of here. You're going to do some double duty tonight. You're doing some writing tonight.
Yeah, our best to Bill Meltzer. A little car mishap tonight.
A little fender bender for Billy.
Hopefully he's doing well. We understand he is, but
good.
We're going to go.
Well, he better be fine for Sunday when he comes on for taping Monday's Meltzers.
You got 3 days to figure it all
out. Rest up, Billy.
Smitty said he can handle all your duties between now and then.
I'm not writing 3,500 words on this game, Bill. Sorry.
So let's thank a few people. Let's start with our in-studio engineer, Pat Egan. Pat, who was highlights tonight?
Jarvis Varnado.
Jarvis Varnado, new hire at the
That
stage.
doesn't sound like a real person
tonight. You think? You're just catching on, Smitty. Good job.
I'm just pointing it out.
Our on-site engineer, Betsy Deming, and our great crew leader here down at the East Food Hall, Megan, did a great job tonight with her crew. So for Brian Smith, Steve Coates, Tim Saunders, I'm Jason Martinez. You've been listening to Philadelphia Flyers Hockey, a 4-1 defeat against the Tampa Bay Lightning on the BetRivers.com Flyers Broadcast Network. Good night, everybody.
See you guys.